Hey, it's Jill Monroe. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today, you're going to listen in on a discussion with the stars and director of the new Netflix film, Passing, Rebecca Hall, Tessa Thompson, and Ruth Negga. The film deals with themes around race, sexuality, gender, and more. Check it out. I wanted to know, the concept of passing is not something that the younger generation is really, I believe, familiar with, especially in terms of this. They are on the opposite spectrum with things like Blackfishing and the Rachel Dolezal story. So do you think that they will accept what is happening with these two characters on screen and find the empathy because of the dangers, or not just because of a lifestyle improvement, but the actual dangers and fear that also came along with this particular time period in this story?
I think they will, because it's about context. I think we all accept things that we might, analytically from the outside assume that we're not going to accept. And then when the context is right, we accept it, including the constructs of race, including like these things. There's a sort of, there's a lot of different ways to see people, and no one can be reduced to one thing or like one set of anything. We know this. But I firmly believe that it was important for me to cast not just Black women, because I'm redressing a cinematic history that has not cast Black women in these roles, has universally, apart from Freddie Washington, cast white women. But also it was important to me to cast women that an audience, a young audience, have a fixed idea about their identity as Black. Because then I've got somewhere to go as the filmmaker. Because I'm destabilizing their fixed idea of these identities. And that is far more interesting than playing a game of like, oh, well, they look white. I mean, that's not interesting to me. But I had to sort of slightly abstract the world, so that we could play that game. And that's partially why Black and white. But even beyond that, I believe that in this like abstracted world that is Black and white and doesn't look like the world, you will accept the story at face value because I'm asking you to. But more than that, I think you were always forced into receiving the story from a Black perspective, because you're seeing these women as Black. And I suppose what I mean by that is is you're aware of the imminent danger all the time. You're never for a second going, well, they're okay, they're passing. It's, you're always aware of the threat, because how you're going to see the film, how you're going to receive the film in that headspace is if you were, if you're a family whose someone leaves and crosses the color line and says, I'm white now, that family doesn't look at that person and say, okay, yes, I can see how they're white now, they're going to be fine. They only ever see that person as Black. They only see their family member as Black. And that's the perspective that I want the audience to receive the movie. Because it's more frightening, it's more immediate. It reveals a certain truth about this that I don't think is revealed when it's something else.
And it's all about context. It's really interesting. I mean, I don't know if you've had it before, but a lot of people I know have been told, well, very controversial, but, oh, you're not really Black, or I don't see you as Black. And weirdly, that's supposed to be complimentary. I mean, I've had that experience in my past a lot, and it's all about context and how people see you, and boxes that you're put in, and this constant having to be defined by other people to make them comfortable with you. And that has always fascinated me, because I really resent that. And I'm not sure if it's chicken and egg, if I resent it because of those experiences, or I just resent being told what I am by other people and what I'm allowed to be and the limits of who I'm allowed to be, just to make other people feel comfortable, because that's what passing is. I mean, the idea that a person has to pass to achieve what they wanted to achieve in life and meet their potential. And then if someone found out that they're not, actually white, how does that change who they are and what they've contributed and their skills and their talents? It doesn't, but it does. And that doesn't make sense to me. And that's what I think the interrogation that we do in this film like we've said before, makes a mockery of all these social mores around color, and which are legitimized in law, which they have been. The one drop rule, Jim Crow, you know, I mean, it really.
You're getting to that thing that's really like radical and amazing about Claire, is that she, you know, she's putting this mask on, but she's the most free to be herself of all the characters, ironically.